Hola amigos, buenos días, buenas tardes, buenas noches, bienvenidos al canal Valeria Infantil, canal Infantil Valeria aquí en Twitch. Y vamos adelante con este nuevo juego. Las historias... El libro de las historias jamás escrita se llama y vamos a ver qué tal está. Me han dicho que tiene muy buenas críticas.
The alliance of humans, elves, and dwarves fought against the evil army of the shadows. The war had devastated the country for years upon years, and yet no one gained the advantage. And so it was that in that time of deepest despair, that an old archaeologist uncovered the location of the artifact of divine fate. The artifact could fulfill every wish, and thus decide the war, for one side or the other. Led by Warlock Munkus, son of Archwitch Mortroga, the Shadows hunted for the artifact. And they would have reached it first, were it not for a group of heroes who stood against them. Wilbur,
Contado que es una historia como una mezcla del Señor de los Anillos, Bola de Dragón, Juego de Tronos, una mezcla completamente de varias historias, como podéis leer arriba.
To spend the rest of his life at the side of an elven princess, who deserved the kingdom and all the riches in the world, who should stop wasting time talking about himself in the third person. Ah!
Wow.
Good, good. This is good. Although the ground is still getting closer. Part of the jetty. At least some of it survived the explosion. If I'm lucky, this will go all the way up to the island. But somehow I really doubt it will. Ow!
Mira, la lámpara de Aladino. Vamos a ver. Frota, frota.
Oh, hi Nate, how's it going?
Good, for now. Could it be that your spell didn't quite work out the way you planned?
I did tell you there were certain risks involved.
Risks? What risks?
Now, Jinn magic is a complicated affair. It's difficult to get the dose right, and when one hasn't done magic for a while, things can go a little bit wrong.
Like you killing me, for example?
Not intentionally.
I could use some help here, Benny.
Well, you did see what happened last time I cast a spell.
Time to make up for it then. Now shake a leg.
Oh, I don't know. I might just end up making everything worse.
Let me see. I'm accompanying tons of boulders in a plummet to certain painful death. My death. So just how do you think you could make things any worse?
Worse? I could set the air on fire, or it could start smelling. Very bad.
Can't you just stop time? Or wings! Give me wings! How about that?
Oh, this is all terribly complicated. I really don't feel up to it today, Nate.
Benny!
Perhaps tomorrow? I really do need to think through what's happened today properly.
You get me out of the mess you got us into right now!
Please don't yell at me. I just can't take it anymore.
Benny! Ah! The state he's in, we can forget about miracles. I gotta find something easy, something even he thinks he can do.
Mira, 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 mira la alfombra mágica. ¿La pillará? Mira, 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 mira. ¿A qué se le escapa?
A flying carpet.
Ah, no, la
Is that
pisó.
too much to ask?
I'm not talking to you.
Why you... I'm sorry I criticized your work, Benny.
And?
And that I shook your lamp. And everything else. You meant well.
Well, all right then. I forgive you. What can I do for you?
Carpet!
A flying carpet. Shouldn't be too hard. Should I really dare? Am I really up to it?
Yes!
Hey, ¿dónde están?
What the heck?
¿Dónde los llevan?
What happened here? No!
Welcome, adventurer. I am the tutorial, guardian of gameplay, explainer of controls. Use the left stick to move the character. Well done. If you walk up to an object, context-sensitive actions will be displayed. Walk up to that big lever and press A.
Hey, ¿se ve quién es? Como si fuera de las películas de Disney. Míralo.
The robot has used the lever, as this seemed logical to him. Now press B so that the robot looks at the lever rather than uses it. Excellent. The robot thinks the lever is working. But if that's so, then where is the problem? That hatch over there, walk up to it and press A. The little chap seems to think there are advanced engine mechanics hidden behind there. Perhaps that's where the problem is. Press A again, next to the hatch. The first time you press A will allow you to look. Why? Because after a player character has looked at something, the most logical thing to do next, it's quite simple. Press B when you want to look at something. Press A in order to do whatever that character thinks is the next most sensible move. appears to be a new problem. Better take a closer look at the engine. Oops, that wasn't very helpful. Please pick up both gears by pressing A. If Great work. Items you pick up will go into your inventory. You open and close your inventory by pressing Y. To use an inventory item, select it with A, and then select the object that you want it to be used with. Excellent. Now, how about dealing with the second gear? Perfect. You'd better oil the engine before you switch the machine back on again. That should do it. Time to crank it up. Examine objects in the inventory in more detail. Pick up the damaged figure and the toolbox. Then open the inventory with Y and press B in order to examine the toolbox.
Hey.
Great. You found a few items in the toolbox. You can use these items on each other by initially selecting the first object with A and then using it on the second object again. Try to repair the figure in the inventory. Well done. Now place the figure back in its rightful place on the balcony of the castle and start the machine. You're now ready. One last tip before I go. If you press X, all interesting objects in the scene will be displayed. Good luck with your adventures in the Book of Unwritten Tales 2.
The Book of the Written Tales 2.
I'm worried about you.
Oh, Mother.
What's wrong with you?
Everything's fine.
No, you don't look well at all. Positively rotund. It is unseemly for an elf princess to cope with her frustrations by comfort eating. If you carry on like this, you won't fit into your wedding dress.
I don't have any intentions of marrying anytime soon.
Oh, darling, we've been through that already. Prince Lalilos is going to be arriving next week. You will like him. He's charming and... Look, he sent us a picture of himself and his sister.
Which of the two is the sister?
The elf nobility, unfortunately, has not got any unshaven Neanderthals to offer. You'll just have to get used to that.
I don't have the slightest interest in that person. Not anymore.
You are at the heart of the elf kingdom, in the castle of your family where you belong. No one here should be sad, tired,
Cansada ni gorda.
I only want what's best for you, Ivo.
I didn't want to tell Mother, but I've not been feeling too well lately, Cheap. I'd say the same thing, but we elves hardly ever get it. Yeah, you've got a point there. I spent almost a year in the human world, and they have some very strange ideas about personal hygiene. Well, I thought perhaps it's a curse. Oh, no, you won't. I'll take care of it myself. Mother would make a state occasion out of it. I don't know either, but I'm sure there's a medical book down in the library. No, rest is not what I need just now. I'll go down to the library and look up what's wrong with me, completely alone, just like a grown-up elf. I'm not going to be stopped, neither by locked doors nor by you. A beautiful red flower. It was only put here a few days ago. Sometimes Mother orders a new plant that looks nice in my room. And then it's replaced and planted in the garden.
Vamos a ver.
The times when the others were here in the elf burrow, those were the best that I've ever had. The critter could never keep still when I was drawing him. He was always pulling faces and trying to make me laugh. Wilbur was so excited. He loves elves and our stories. He spent hours sitting with my father and listening to him talk about bygone ages. Complete idiot. My jewellery box serves as a podium for the vertically challenged. Could you please move aside?
¿Dará un cookie?
I want to get into my jewellery box. He doesn't listen
¿A
to
mí
me
qué le da?
anymore since I almost caused him to be roasted by fireballs, decapitated by swords and eaten by monsters. Mother has permitted him to disregard any of my orders that go against her wishes. His interpretation of this can be liberal. I had my birthday during the few weeks that we spent living together. That was a big deal for Wilbur. He couldn't understand that the significance of birthdays tends to fade after a few hundred years. He insisted on making me a present. He sat in the corner for days knitting me this hat with his little gnarled fingers. Cheap Cheap likes to look at... He strikes a pose and then tries to... I've never been ill, but something isn't right. I hope I'll find the answer in the library. A delicate...
Hay que ver, al final arranco la flor.
When Nate and the... I don't know... And Cheap Cheap... Normally this bowl is full of fruit and nuts. Presumably Mother has decided I should be without such things whilst I am, as she says, positively rotund. An envoy from the Far East gave me this musical box years ago. Wherever I go, I always have its tune in my head. The music box closes automatically as soon as the melody finishes. A guard with a spear and shield, and like all elven figures, immaculate.
Bueno. Ahí se puede mirar por el telespejo. Por el telespejo. Por el telescopio, vamos.
It may not be befitting of a princess, but this isn't the first time that I've climbed into the garden via the balcony, and it won't be the last. I'm just doing my morning exercises. I wasn't going to. Of course, I could just ignore him and climb down into the garden anyway. He would, however, make a beeline to Mother and tell on me, and who knows what the two of them would cook up for me next. I used to look into the woods for days on end, imagining what the world beyond would be like. Now I know, and I think I miss it. It may not be befitting of a princess, but this isn't the first time that I've climbed into the garden via the balcony, and it won't be the last. Okay, he's not looking this way. Oh, there is more than one kind of stretch exercise, you know. Perhaps you'd like to train with me. No chance. I can't sneak down as long as Cheap Cheap's on guard. We have many exotic plants here in the palace, but sunflowers are my favourite. We have many exotic plants here in the palace, but sunflowers are my favourite. We have many exotic plants here.
Ya, vale, muy bien.
Mother's locked me in, as if since I secretly escaped from the elf burrow last year, she's taken to guarding me closer than ever before. The door's locked and can only be opened from the other side. I'll have to find another way down to the library. Hopefully I'll find a book on medicine in the library. Only how am I going to get down there? Hey, Cheep Cheep. I only need it for a... Oh, he's not budging, and his pecs can be damn painful. Elven craftsmen have centuries. Only when everything is always perfect, then isn't everything... Normally this bowl is presumably
Oh, voy a tirar ya está por la ventana.
fresh water from the spring brook. The little people come from far and wide to drink it. I've seen much suffering, much evil and unkindness in the world out there. But it was exciting. It was alive. Here in the elf burrow, everything is so ordered, so perfect, so dull. One day's just like the next, and they just pass by endlessly. Apologies, I need a few of your seeds. I don't know how, but he always seems to know. Perhaps it's a sixth sense. Not while Cheep Cheep's still...
Bueno, ya tengo la semilla. Se la voy a dar a Chichi. Después la semilla que me voy a tirar.
Hey, Cheep Cheep, I only need it for... Oh, he's not budging. Cheep Cheep survived our past advent. He told everyone for months how he defended me from all the... Hey, Cheep. Fancy some delicious sunflower seeds? You want the seeds? I want to get out of this room. Could we not come to some arrangement? I would never do that. I know that royal servants are unbribable, but sunflower seeds... Huh. Then perhaps not. Most birds love a mirror because they believe they can see another bird in it. You just love them because you can't get enough of yourself. I would be a bit less unbearable if I wasn't incarcerated in here. And you really think it's appropriate for me to be locked in here too, eh? Yes, only what's best for me. She always says that. Have you seen this, Prince? A vain river elf. I'm to spend hundreds of years in the company of someone I don't... And how? She will try any... Ugh. When I was out there with the humans, it was the first time that I had the feeling I could determine my own destiny. Yes, it was dangerous. Doesn't that go with the territory? A life without risk, that is so... Oh, you don't understand. If I could, I would go right now. You want to stop me? Just like last time. See you later. Yes, of course I'll be a good girl and stay in my room. The door's locked and can only... I'll have to... If I'm to get out of this room, I'll... Wilbur didn't know that autumn would last for years to come and that elves don't feel... Mother looked at the hat with so much revulsion that I... If I'm to get out of this room, I'll have to trick him. Mother's orders are sacrosanct. If I'm to get out of this room, I'll have to... Perhaps it's a sixth sense, or magic. Or he just knows me too well. Not while Cheep's still on guard. One can almost see the edge of the wood through the telescope. But Mother would never forgive me.
Yeah.
No, I'm not thirsty. If I'm to get out of this room, I'll have to... If I'm to get out of this... If I'm to get out of this room, I'll have to trick him. Mother's orders are... Oh, Cheep can't be bribed. I'll have to try something different. If I'm to get out of this room, I'll have to trick him. Mother's orders are sacrosanct to him. If I'm to get out of this room, I'll... Since Nate left without saying so much as a word, Mother seized the opportunity to marry me off to a proper elf prince. So far, I've managed to frighten off every candidate successfully. But she's starting to lose her patience. If I'm to get out of this room, I'll have to... Fresh water from the spring. People come from far... Perhaps it's a sixth sense.
Vamos,
or
si
magic.
logramos salir.
Or he just knows me too well.
Bien. Ya está.
Cheep, Cheep, would it be possible for you to stop admiring yourself for 2 seconds and move over to stuffing your beak instead? Don't say I never look after you. The music box closes automatically. The box, as well as its hinges and lock, has been fashioned. Pearls, precious stones, sparkling earrings and necklaces. If it were up to Mother, I would have trunkfuls of this stuff and a wing of the castle. She just can't understand why Pa and I... Goodness. Pearls, precious stones, sparkling... Goodness. The box, as well as its hinges and lock, has been fashioned from one piece of tree root. A masterful piece of workmanship, just like everything else here in the elf burrow. A guard with a spear and... Elven crafts only... A guard with a spear and shield, and like all elven figures, immaculate. Elven craft only when everything is...
Uf. Vamos a coger el espejito.
Pearls, goodness no. The box, as well as its hinges and lock, is... Goodness.
Venga, hija, coge el espejo.
floral symptoms. A contented fat... I don't know, perhaps...
Vámonos por más pipas.
The plant would survive, I'm sure. The plant would survive, I'm sure. But at the moment, I don't need any more. The plant would survive. I just need the music box. You don't need to turn your head away from your beautiful...
Toma, zas.
Shh.
En toda la boca.
He's gone to sleep. It got dark.
Vámonos. Me ha costado, me ha costado. Ahora nos vamos a descolgar por ahí. Descuérgate. Erfa, descuérgate. Wow.
As expected, no one here. My parents are in the throne room ruling the lands. Or rather, Mother is. A fairly small, unattractive tree.
Huh. I'd like to see how attractive you'd look if someone disturbed you on the pot in the morning.
You mean...
Anyway, what can I do for you, my little beauty?
The garden always looks fantastic, Arbor.
Thank you. It's a girt load of work. People always think elf gardens are fabulous by their very nature. But you need a mighty good gardener.
You have got green fingers.
Ah, that's just moss, my dear. Happens if you spend all day grubbing around in the earth and don't wash your hands properly.
You tree shepherds do a great job.
Tree shepherds? The trees just stand there. Why do they need a shepherd? However, I quite fancy one of those shepherd dogs. Hey, Rex, do you want to be my shepherd dog? Nah, my darling. I'm a gardener. Nothing more, nothing less.
Me.
You and Father, you get along well, don't you?
Ah, no one understands more about nature than him, that's for sure. But I don't often ask him for help. Thinking has never got a field dug, if you get my drift.
He's just more of a theorist.
Ah, the mud on your feet, the smell of fresh earth, all that joy and life. And he's missing out.
What are you up to today, then? Got much on?
Oh, the usual. You know, it never rains in the elf borough, but the flowers need their water, so I water them every day.
Ah, the curse of good weather.
The weather isn't the only thing which isn't right. I've been here 30 years, and for 30 years we've had autumn.
Time passes differently in the elf borough.
Well, that's why everyone grows to be ancient here, obviously. But if we had a bit of normal weather and the usual seasons, there'd be a lot more variety here.
Mother put me on a diet this morning so that I'll look perfect for my wedding.
Oh, everything has to be perfect for her. No such thing in nature, of course. Or rather, everything is perfect if you just let nature run its course.
You tell that to Mother.
I have, many times. She be very clever in some things, but very daft concerning that.
Now then, she is the queen.
I'm old enough to be able to call a spade a spade. Spade, gardener. Get it?
I have to get on.
Yep, got a bit to do myself. I just don't know what's wrong with that plant over there. Your mother got a whole heap of flowers given.
Perhaps it needs a special type of soil or something.
Well, anything's possible. If I don't think of something soon, I'll have to ask your father.
If you're going in, it'd be nice if you didn't tell my mother that you saw me out here.
Oh, you playing hooky again? My lips are sealed.
Hi, Alba.
Oh, Ivo!
Have you found out what's wrong with the plant yet?
Nope, I haven't. Everything looks proper. Earth is moist and nutrient-rich. The sun is shining. Difficult case. I'd quite like to smoke my morning pipe now, but... first work, then play.
See you later.
See ya!
I don't know the names of all the plants in the garden. Grandmother knows them all, which is probably down to the fact that it was her that gave many of the plants their names a few thousand years ago. Shite beerwood, sweat tea, dodder flower, fat hen, bistort, stink root. We no longer invite her to family gatherings. The spring brook emerges up there. It's still small here, but it becomes one of the largest and most important rivers in the woodland realm. That leads up to the throne room. Mother will be conducting the affairs of state with an iron will, whilst Pa leans against the tree of life, probably sleeping. Swords of all the idiots who have tried to conquer the elf borough. It's become less frequent over the last few centuries. Humans and dwarves appear to have learnt their lesson.
La biblioteca.
A present from one of the northern kingdoms. Strange folk up there. The men climb mountains and shout foul-mouthed things, and I think it's some kind of test of courage. Several books about animals, an atlas, a book about humans. Actually, more of a and what's this? Fishing for the moderately talented.
Mira.
A great
Es
example of
el
the
de
variety
monstruos,
of our
¿eh?
world's fauna. Some of the ideas Mother Nature has can be quite off the wall.
Mira, 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 mira. Los tres huevos de Daenerys.
What have we got here then? Aha. Ah, Almanac of Elf Medicine. That's what I've been looking for.
Ow! Be careful, if you please.
A speaking book?
An ill elf?
Ill elf? So I look ill. What's wrong with me?
Take it easy, young one thing at a time.
Young one. I'm older than you.
And you look it too.
I do?
No, of course not, and I can also see no illness. But the mere fact that I've been fished out from the back of the shelf for the first time in centuries tells me that something is wrong.
I haven't been feeling too well recently. I'm sleeping badly and have no appetite. I know that elves are very seldom ill, but if it's not that, then it must be some kind of magic or curse.
Seldom ill does not actually mean never ill. Elves can, for instance, suffer from a broken heart.
Oh,
Cubo de Rubí.
It is one of
La de
the
las
most
cabezas de
common
diamante,
causes of death
monstruo
amongst
S.A.
beautiful princesses.
oh, it must be something else.
Sensitive elves can sometimes suffer from the pains of the world. There are a variety of ear infections, and of course it could also be lupus. But I think it is something else.
Like what?
To be completely certain, you must mix a potion and drink it.
Are you serious?
Very.
All right, this potion. What goes in it?
It is very easy to make. You need to pound together the green fruit of a metis bush, a spoonful of honey and a red herring, and then mix with water into a viscous potion.
Oh, that sounds...
It's medicine. It isn't supposed to taste nice.
And if I drink it, I'll be well again?
We will then at least know what is wrong with you.
I demand to know this instant what sort of illness I have.
Sometimes it's better not to know.
I can take it.
A placebo only works when one doesn't know that it is a placebo. Make the potion and then come back and drink it. Then we'll be sure.
This metis bush, where can I find one?
Haven't a clue. I'm just a book and have spent years sandwiched between dusty hymnals and a tome of revolting recipes.
A red herring. Are you serious?
Of course, why not? Red herrings are known all over the land as particularly useful fish. Their uses in the areas of medicine, cuisine, and literature are too numerous to mention.
All right, so I've got a red herring. Are you actually qualified to make a diagnosis? And why can you talk?
I am a magical medicine book.
That actually serves as an answer to both of your questions.
I've never encountered a talking book before.
Of course not. I am the only talking book here. That's the problem. In the magical library in Seastone, all books can talk. Things really get cooking there, believe me.
Thank you. I think that's all for now.
Normally, it's me that ends patient consultations. You are only a princess, but I...
A few years ago, this dragon was causing a whole lot of grief. A bounty was put on its head, and all heroes of the land were encouraged to hunt it down. 40 brave warriors penetrated its lair and slew it. They brought the head to the palace where it was displayed in triumph. The strange thing was that a bit later more adventurers came carrying an identical head. Then more and more heroes arrived. This flower clearly is one of the more... It comes from a country in the deep south beyond the deserts. It's said that the flower of this plant used to be sent as a declaration of war, or if one wanted to deprive someone of all sense. There's a selection of cubes here. For a while, it was all the rage at official... The Biggest Plant Book of Avantasia by Charles, a standard reference book that Arbor always used to consult every now and then. Perhaps there are a few practical hints and tips in the fishing book. A lucrative season with a successful technique doesn't just depend on the type and quality of your tackle, but also on a read. It doesn't matter whether you jig, dip, toddle or feed. I haven't the faintest idea what all that means. I presume... The door can be opened easily from the outside. If it was up to me, it would stay open. Pearls, precious stones, sparkling earrings and necklaces. Up there. I've no appetite for... Hi, Arbor.
Oh, Ivo!
If I were ill and needed to make some medicine, then you'd help me with that, wouldn't you?
Ill? You're an elf! Elves don't get ill!
But if I were...
Oh, come...
Do we have a lettuce bush in the garden here?
That bush over yonder.
But that fruit's red.
And what colour do you expect then?
Green. Are they only green when they're not ripe?
Nah, they're blue then. They're green when the bush senses danger.
Pardon?
The lettuce bush has a delicious sweet fruit. But if it thinks it's in danger, then they go green and very sour. Call it a defense mechanism.
Ah, and the bush only has red fruit because it has nothing to be afraid of here.
That's right.
I often see you fishing. Could you lend me your rod?
Of course, if you bring it back. What's up?
I was convinced that I would have to make my own fishing rod or that you'd ask me to collect.
Why? It's only a rod.
Thanks.
Well, everything needs to be complicated, you know.
Do you know how I could get my
Try the kitchens.
I prefer not to wander through the castle.
Of course. Someone would tell your...
Would that beehive in the tree over there be of any help?
Oh, I'd be careful with that. The bees defend their honey and can give you a nasty sting.
Couldn't they be distracted or tricked?
Beekeepers wear protective clothes and use smoke that calms the bees. But I don't have any beekeeper kit here. I just let the bees keep their honey and they pollinate my flowers. That's how we've always done it.
Sí, dígame. Sí. Hola. Sí.